Hi, Brainiacs. This episode is brought to you by Smalls, my favorite cat food, and my cat's favorite cat food. Now's the time to make the switch to Smalls. Head to smalls.com/braincandy and use promo code braincandy at checkout for 50% off your first order plus free shipping. Brain Candy! Woo! Episode 823. Welcome to the show.
823.
Yeah.
Didn't rap.
Hi, what are you
Hi,
doing?
Sus.
What's going on?
Oh, man. I'm just LIVIN apostrophe. You know how I do.
Yeah, man. Everyone's rooting for you. Everyone's cheering you on.
Thanks. Oh, man. It was a real treat to see the outpouring of support when I said, like, maybe I'd date the ladies. And that, I was like, whoa.
You're like the prodigal daughter.
Like, I didn't know you guys felt so strongly. Okay, thank you. And then I
tell you.
And then in my head, I was like, oh, man, anybody who's, like, met me recently is going to be like, what? She's not gay or she's not queer. And then I'm going to have to, like, bust out the Curve magazine's list of 100 most eligible women and show them that I'm, like, number 12 or 16 or something close to the top on the list.
Wow.
Yeah, brag about that. I'm going to be like, well, if I'm good enough for Curve magazine and,
I'll say.
Also, the 5 years I dated exclusively women, that could also help. I remember I was in grad school, and we had this training for safe spaces. Like, it was like a LGBTQI plus like therapy training. Like, I was like, oh, I'll go to that. There was a woman in there who that later complained to the director that there wasn't enough queer representation and that she was offended that she was the only queer person in there, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, excuse me. I'd like to
know
object.
my way around APUSSY.
Right. I'm like, well, I don't know if the, times I spent between women's legs qualify me, but, or the fact that I bring a U-Haul to the second date with all those gals.
Okay, but you're, I mean, let's be honest, your credentials were in jeopardy.
I know.
It was really, it was scary. I thought.
It's kind of like, so for my associate's license, I have to keep that updated. Like, if I don't take my exams and I don't pay the fees and all this stuff and take the right continuing education units, it expires. And it feels like I was getting right to the edge of that with the queer card. You
were, because you weren't even giving the gals a chance.
I know. Yeah. I don't know. I was dumb. I don't know what I was thinking, but now I am. So
she's open, and she agrees with us that girls rule, boys rule.
Yeah.
Duh.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes. It doesn't mean she's going to end up with a lady. It just means she's open.
It definitely means that the first few dates I go on will be with women.
Good for you.
Absolutely.
Are they coming into your DMs being like, here I
am? Their friends are coming into my DMs and being like, I got one for you. I got one.
What's that about?
And then, actually, yes, they are coming into my DMs.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Listen, ladies, you can stop complaining if you're not taking action.
Yeah, yes, I have been. I did get some.
Good for you.
And better than dudes. Like, that should be no surprise to me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, well, they make me feel lovely. It's not just like, sup. Like,
yeah.
The bar is low, but.
All right. Well, keep us posted.
I can't wait. Then
I
kind of feel like people are like, really, Sarah, during Pride Month?
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. Does it feel like it's just
queer
like
baiting?
But it's not. It's not at all. But it just feels like the timing. It just happens to be that I'm surrounded by, rainbow flags.
Yeah, I mean, it's not queer baiting. It's just queer.
Right.
So
get used to it.
Right. She's out and proud.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, the closet was glass.
Right. You have the least, consequential coming out.
Oh my God. Ever. Like,
Right?
I remember when I told my mom and she called all of her gay friends and like threw a party. And I was like, I kind of wanted this to be about me, but
Listen, she was just proud too.
yeah,
She's
she
an ally.
loved it. She is. Yes, for sure. So was
All
my
right.
grandma. My grandma was the OG Leslie.
She was?
For sure. I
How do
know
you
that my grandma.
know?
I know. She
Oh.
she was like, she would say that you don't really need to love your husband. You just need to find somebody you could like hang out with or whatever. So
Yeah.
she,
I agree with her, and I'm not gay.
right. And her best friends that she was closest to were there was just a couple women who she just spent all of her time with, and that was it. And she was like an educator in like the 50s, and come on, come on.
Okay.
Was divorced by the 70s.
Yeah, Eleanor, we see you.
Yeah, only wore pants. The movers came to my house, and I had I have a picture of her in this national park where she's standing with like in this cool posture, and one of the movers goes, "What's the story with that lady?" And I was like, "That's my grandma." And he goes, "She's badass." And I was like, "Yeah, she is."
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
"Thanks." I'm like, "Same vibes, right?" Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's got that. She's
Don't
got
you wish you would have asked
Leslie
her?
energy. You know what? I do wish I asked her, but I think she would always say, like, two of her closest friends were this gay couple, and she would always, I remember when she introduced me to them when I was younger, and I must have been about 7 or 8, and she was like, all right, I think Maurice and Sam were their names. Maurice and Sam. And they love each other, and that's okay because you could love whoever you want. And I remember her giving me the whole speech and me being like, yeah, it's fine, Grandma. I already know this. But, like, you know, I was like, my mom's taking me, like, drag shows. Like, please, we're fine. But I remember her giving me the whole lecture and then having this awareness at the time of, like, she's talking about them, but I feel like she's talking about her. And I was little. I was, like, 7, 8, or 9. I had that awareness in that moment of like, she's not talking about them. It was like early therapist vibes. I can just, I remember those moments, and that was one of them. And so I've always said, oh yeah, my grandma was definitely a lesbian. And I think she was in love with this lady named Fran, who was a bird lady whose house was filled with birds.
Well, and then your grandma became a bird.
And then my grandma became a bird.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Neither do I, actually. Ooh, I got goosebumps. Ooh.
We see you, Grandma.
Yeah.
It reminds me of our Candy Club theme for June is Pride. And the film is that Netflix film called A Secret Love about those two lesbians. And one of them played like in the League of Their Own. She's like the real life Gina Davis or whatever.
God. I can't wait to watch this.
It's very sweet. And it's sort of what you're describing where like, let's say your grandma really was.
Yes.
That thing where like you might end up have a roommate.
Right.
You know, and for 70 years. And, and nobody even really thinks about it because you're a lady and ladies aren't animals.
Right.
And they just take you at your word. This is my roommate. And then only later are they like, oh, wait
a second.
you're a lesbian.
You only have one bed.
Yeah. You make spoons every night. Yeah. Right. So that film is the one. I couldn't decide because I thought about doing the Paris is Burning.
Paris
the one
is
you
Burning.
loved.
Yeah, I love that documentary.
There were some other options, but then I thought, we just love lesbians around here.
And I haven't seen the one you're talking about. And
okay.
Paris is Burning, I feel like we could do that.
That could be any month. Okay. Well, if you want to join the Candy Club.
It feels seasonal. It feels holiday. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the camp.
Yuletide. It's giving holiday.
It's giving. Oh, God.
If you want to join the Candy Club, you can do so on our website. And that's where all our candy codes are for our sponsors, too. So, use those because pretty much once a month I make Sarah have a meeting with me where I basically say, it's over.
Terrifies me. Yeah. It's just like, here's the deal.
We had a good run.
I hate those meetings.
I don't mean to do it. It's just that ever since the pandemic, especially, podcasting has been brutal because all those celebrities were bored in quarantine and were like, I'll do a podcast.
Like,
and then they
get out of here. We've been doing this for years.
With you, Sean from Will and Grace. What's his name?
Yeah.
That guy. What's that guy, Jack? Sean something.
Sure. I please. Like I'm going to know. But I know.
Will Arnett and that Bateman guy. I can't compete with them.
Right.
They're famous.
And I'm just bringing mildly hilarious quasi-queer commentary.
Yeah, we'll come in here and be like, hey, I was mad at a guy at Home Depot this week. So listen, use our codes or this whole ship's sinking.
Speaking of which, I will say this since you brought it up. I have been visiting as a new homeowner Home Depot regularly.
Yeah.
I have noticed a big difference in the way I get treated as a woman at Home Depot in Colorado versus Home Depot in California.
Wonder why.
It could be that I've embraced the overalls and I look more like I belong there now. Or maybe I'm just like, but I do not get, and it doesn't feel like they're patting me on the head and being as condescending anymore in Home Depot. Remember, I used to have a big problem with that.
Do. That's why I referred to it in that anecdote.
And I'm like, we're like
Sean Hayes.
0 for 10.
Sorry.
Oh, well done, Sean Hayes. Good. Thanks.
Okay, so you feel like you don't feel like it's that the store has different vibes. It's that you do.
Or California does. And Colorado.
Well, that's a relief. Maybe that shows you're in the right place.
Yeah, I liked that. So, just a little thing to think about at the end.
Something I'm thinking about is my Caraway cookware and bakeware. I used it twice today already.
Too. I used once today because I've only had one meal. Yep. I have my new house. It's very small kitchen space, so I have one shelf or one little a cupboard that has 2 shelves, and they're so small, but it is the perfect size for my one Caraway frying pan, and it's like it has its own, not like it does, has its own. It has its own designated shelf in there. It's like the universe just knows that that's the only pan I need.
That's the pan.
Take it out. It's it. I have not used any other pan since I've lived there.
It's so awesome, this stuff. The bakeware, the cookware, and Sarah's talking about that darn frying pan, which is a game changer.
Now
for
I want
eggs.
a new color, though.
Oh, what color you want?
Green. I'm going to mix it up. I love the sage green.
Mix it up.
Yeah,
they have the cutest colors. But don't let that fool you and think, it's just, fashion over function.
Looks. Yeah.
It's not. These things are somehow non-stick, but they are non-toxic. They don't have any of that garbage that causes cancer, and I'm trying to avoid like the PFAS things that are in our water for Pete's sake.
For real, in everything. So come on. Yeah, we
minimal
gotta do what we
oil
can.
Or butter, slide off the pan eggs, you will die. But also the bakeware, just all the loaf pan and the muffin, they fall right out of that thing. And one more reminder that Caraway Month is on. Caraway is dropping limited time offers every Monday in June. Blink and you just might miss them. I didn't even know about this. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/braincandy, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase.
A discount on top of a discount? That's my favorite a double kind discount. Of discount.
This deal is exclusive for our listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/braincandy or use code braincandy at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. Wow.
Yes.
Double discount. Love it. Alrighty, let's get things cooking here. Okay. So Sarah hosts this Changes Everything podcast, and she does so. She's a solo artist on there. However, she used to have a co-host named Therapy Jeff, and Therapy Jeff recently posted this list of green flags that he had solicited from his followers. So it's like if you're dating a man.
Yeah.
I don't know if he specified woman. I think it was if you're a woman dating a man, what are green flags that the guy can do. And like the list is so disturbing to me that I wanted to like discuss.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh
so
God, is this one of those the bar is on the fucking floor thing?
Yeah, the bar is super low, but also there were a couple that I wouldn't agree with, and so I need to discuss.
Okay.
Do you have any off the top of your head?
I will say this, that when I work with clients on having healthy relationships, dating, things like that, how to like fix your picker, more of a do as I say, not as I do sort of thing.
Aren't we all?
You know, one of those. It's like the heart doctor with high cholesterol or whatever. But I spend a lot of time talking about making your list of things that you need and want in a relationship more than just things that should be in a relationship no matter what.
Yeah, like implied.
Like healthy communication, is important, but like you need that across the board. So like there's no relation where you get like all the good stuff but then have terrible communication and it's going to be like, oh, this is a great marriage. No.
Right.
So let's like not create a list of just the essentials, you know?
Right. Yes.
Like get more specific. Okay.
Okay, so if you a green flag, we'll define it as like something that if you're seeing someone and they do or have that you're like, ooh, that's a good sign.
Yeah, green
it's
means
not
go.
Mandatory.
Right.
But it's like, okay, this is good. I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Green means go. Yeah.
Like being a good tipper or being polite to I would say that's in the basic. But
I would too.
But you know.
Okay, so like a throw blanket on their couch. A lot of it was like stuff in their apartment that like they would like to see.
Yeah. Okay.
Things like that. A throw blanket.
I would say that is,
That's nice, yeah.
You know what? Eli didn't have one of those when I first met him. I brought over the throw blanket, and he did have one, but it was one that his friend got while he was staying there because he was like, Eli, you need blankets. You need a throw blanket.
Oh, God.
You do need one. I'm going to go ahead and second that.
We're going to upgrade that and say if you don't have one, it's a red flag.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say that you need a throw blanket.
Okay. Bed sheets that are not navy or black. And I wasn't really sure what this is about.
Oh, my God.
What is this?
I swear to God, black bed sheets, every guy just picks that. And it is so gross to me because it's like, for obvious reasons.
Because it's not going to do what you think it's going to do.
Right. And they all think it's like sexy and like, oh my God, that is fucking accurate.
Are these cotton usually?
Oh my God.
Or are we talking sateen or something?
No, they're just like regular sheets. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but I can say it's 5 out of 5 of the last people I've been with had black bed sheets.
I'm shocked. Have you ever bought black bed sheets?
No.
Okay, well, that's
maybe when I was going through my Tuesday sacrifice phase and I did all black and red room.
Different.
Yeah,
that's
for
different.
sure. But it was like on theme. I did goth room.
A clean vanity with no beard trimmings.
Oh, please. Oh my God! This might be I should have listened to this list. I don't want to name names.
I don't want to name names.
Oh my God.
There's 2 suspects because 2 of them had beards or facial hair. Okay. Well, see, I guess I thought, what is happening out in the world?
Susie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have to share this.
Tell me.
Okay, there's two experiences that I've had with beard hair. One experience, I went to go. That was always the thing I've complained about in my relationships. Please wipe up the beard hair. It's so fucking gross. And then they'll wipe it, and it'll go into the drawer that is right below them where their sink is, and they never fucking clean that out.
Never.
So there's just like. It's like, you know, when you mow the lawn and there's all that grass clippings and people just leave that on the lawn. It's just like mowed grass, beard trimmings all over in the drawer. So it's always been something where I'm like, oh. And one person I was with many years ago, I took everything I was saying and realized that I didn't like the beard hair everywhere, so went to the efforts of wiping it up. Then I washed my face, and I went to dry my face, and this partner did not put the towel into the dirty clothes after they wiped the counter with it.
Died.
And I wiped my fucking face with it and pulled it away, beard hair all over my face. I lost it. I was like,
absolutely
grounds
not.
for divorce.
Yeah, City Hall.
Right now. And
Right.
please.
Petitioner.
Please,
yes.
please. Straight to jail.
Irreconcilable differences.
Yes.
What did you do?
Freaked the fuck out and then yelled and been like, this, I'd rather you leave it on the counter. And I'm sure then he's like, I guess I'll leave it on the counter. Right. You know, then me, like, please take it the one step farther.
It's so gross.
So that,
I'm sorry. You're a survivor.
I am a survivor. See, this is why I need to be with women. A woman would never.
No. But it only takes one trait. Consideration.
Right.
That's it. It's all. I'm asking for nothing else.
What I don't understand is when my drawers get a little bit dusty, I'm like, ooh, these babies need a little cleaning.
Or in the kitchen, crumbs.
Time to empty the drawer, give a little wipey wipe.
You're going to be so happy.
I always say, like, I can leave a tornado in my, like, path and make a mess, but I also can clean the fuck out of something and organize an area and make sure that I do. And I just feel like that's a skill not everybody has, apparently.
Well, sometimes it requires training.
Yes.
And if the person is open to it, it's no problem. Like, remember when I talked on the show about how Adam would clean the kitchen, but he had stovetop blindness, and he couldn't see the splatters all over the stove. And so he'd be like, it's done. And I'd be like, do you not see this? But he just genuinely didn't.
Yeah.
And so now he is aware. His eyes are open. It's like Amazing Grace. I was blind, but now I see.
See the light. Oh, gosh. That's so great.
If they're open to their failings, it's no problem.
Okay. That's a good one. What else is on this list?
Okay. The one that got me that for me would not be a green flag is they were saying if the man has feminine products in his bathroom, which I get the logic, but for real, if someone's buying those just to have.
I feel, you're talking feminine products like tampons and.
Yeah.
Okay, Susie, I'm going to agree with you. This is a fucking sneaky one that younger women fall for. It's the same thing as those high school girls who think it's cute when their boyfriend who's out of high school picks them up every single day and takes them out to lunch because really they're being controlling.
Yes.
Ooh, this is it. Major red flags. I went on a date with a guy and he had a whole bunch of toothbrushes. And I was like, nope.
Yeah, nope.
No second sleepover. I mean, I'm going to give you the first one, but no second one.
Never again.
Never again. My dog peed on his leather couch, so
good.
Joke's on him. She was so good at peeing on the beds of people she didn't like.
They knew.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, you do not buy that kind of thing unless, well, you are probably having a lot of ladies over, number one.
And then you're doing that thing where you're pretending like you're interested and engaged, but you're really not. It was the same thing. I remember Johnny Bananas memorized a color of OPI nail polish that was really popular about 10 years ago called Lincoln Park After Dark. And he would go up to women and he'd go, is that Lincoln Park After Dark? And it's not like he had a genuine interest in them or their nails or anything. He just wanted, and I was like, oh my God, that's so fucking slime. Like, and women are like, oh my God, I fell for it too. And then I heard him do it again and I was like, wait a second. And like, this kind of bullshit really pisses me off.
Mm-hmm. And it's a performance. It's like so performative feminism. So
look at how I brought you tampons. Look at how I have these things.
Please. I'll buy my own. Thank you, Trevor.
Like, it seems like a nice thing, but then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, if you have those, I'm also going to need you to identify the parts of female anatomy on a chart, and I'm going to need you to explain the cycle for me. And if you can't, and what is endometriosis?
Oh,
if you can't do those things, out.
Well, and especially out with the tampons, because it's all or nothing.
All or not, right? You either care about women's issues or you fucking don't. I hate that bullshit.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm very ragey about that right now, and that's fine.
That's fine. Go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, it's great. When the movers came, there were these young guys that I had move the rest of my stuff. And, I mean, they were like just going into college. They must have been like 18, 19. Bless them. They were so sweet. And they saw all my books and they were like, I've been wanting to get into reading. What have you been reading? They were so cute. And I want to be like, here's a book, take a book, take a book.
Reading.
Yeah. They were like sharing with me like the books. Like, I'm reading like 7 strategies of like whatever it was. Highly effective people. I'm like, look at these. Okay. And I was like, okay.
Gotta start somewhere.
Right. They're just like these little cuties. And I told him, like, I would normally be helping you, but I just had surgery and I still can't lift anything over like this weight for a while. And of course, because they're 18, they're like, well, what'd you have surgery on? And then I was like, oh, well, I had a hysterectomy because I have endometriosis. And he's like, I don't know what any of those words mean. And I was like, okay, well, and then I proceeded to give him a little lecture. I was like, this is actually important because 1 in 10 women have it and chances are good you're going to be with some partner who does. And so what it is, and you could just see like their eyes glaze over, but they were still so nice. And
ugh, right. I mean,
I gave him a list of reading afterwards.
And it's okay if they don't know. They're just little babies, but
yeah. But at least he does have some awareness or open, like, he's like, oh man, I didn't know that. Like, so his future girlfriends are going to thank the old lady that he moved one year.
Never ask questions.
Right. Yeah, he maybe learned his lesson. Either way, he learned a lesson. So
a couple of the things on the list that were okay, like books by female authors, Thriving Plants, a cat.
Thriving Plants does it for me.
Yeah. But some of them I was so disturbed by, like a bathroom trash can. Who doesn't have a bathroom
You know what?
Trash can?
I have seen this.
What do they do with their garbage?
I don't think
even just floss.
Oh, and like
or Kleenex
and the ear. What are the cotton
Q-tips?
swabs?
Yeah.
Q-tips. Thank you. Yeah, you got to have a trash can.
That means
in
they're
the
not
bathroom.
grooming at all. Is what that means.
Yeah.
And then also, fresh food. I was like,
as opposed to just processed food. And the American diet is like 80% processed food and 20% not. That's really sickening. But,
oh, okay. So you're saying they have groceries just like in cans and stuff?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay. Well,
or
anyway,
that,
I'm just feeling bad for anybody who's dating.
My little brother is the best boyfriend. I see the way he treats his girlfriend. He is so sweet to her. He like is such a good guy. And because of his job, he's a firefighter. There's his refrigerator. It's empty. There's condiments in it and like nothing.
That's forgivable.
And so I feel like he doesn't have fresh food. He wouldn't pass that.
Yeah, because that would just be wasteful.
Right. But that's fine because he's cooking up a storm over at the station.
I bet he does have liquid IV, though.
Absolutely he does because I always bring it over and I donate it to his station. And he is a big fan of the tart green apple.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. They have so many good flavors. These packets, you pour them in your water. They taste great because there's all those good flavors, but they hydrate you faster than regular water. They have electrolytes and vitamins, and they even have sugar-free as well. So you can put them in your car, in your purse.
I go through the grocery store, and I see liquid IV all over the place, and I saw it in this woman's cart. I wanted to take it off and be like, no, don't get it here. Support our show. Please help us out. If you're good, because everybody needs to be hydrated. Everybody's using this stuff. Might as well just get some, throw them in your camping stuff, throw them in your kids' bags for school, for sports, for summer stuff, for camp. Send your support our show.
Yeah, it is going to be a scorcher from everything I've heard this year.
Oh my God,
so
it's going to be so bad.
you got to get ready. Turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code CANDY at checkout. It's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code CANDY at liquidiv.com. I think there may be like a stink bug in here, so if I lose my marbles like Sarah did when she saw that mouse.
I was noticing that your eyes were kind of darting around. What do you mean? How do you know there's a stink bug? Because it's stinky?
Yeah.
I didn't know they really did that.
If you kill them, they stink.
I maybe don't have any experience with stink bugs.
Yeah, they are gross, but they don't hurt you or bite you or anything. And
what do they look
people
like?
People don't understand why I'm scared of them. They look like a dinosaur. They look like a flying insect dinosaur.
And they fly?
Yes, they do. And that's why it scares me.
Huh. I don't know about stink bugs.
They could fly on me right now.
Stink bugs, cicadas,
you should be glad.
And fireflies. Not really in California. Or at least where I was.
See, this is something we have, to put up with. And it's not pleasant. So if you see me running off, that's why.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Sarah.
Nice that the tables are finally turned and it's not me freaking out over something.
Did you watch Netflix TikTok cult documentary Dance with the Devil?
Oh, I want to, but I'll tell you, I've been signed out of Netflix and I just got a new Netflix subscription yesterday. So I'm going to be watching because last time I went to go watch this, it hadn't come out yet.
Okay. Yeah,
so
just
tell me the premise, tell me the plot. I'll set it up for me.
Because
I don't even know.
That there's this church in California and it began as just sort of a typical cult.
Like you do.
And where they have these members and they give them their money and whatever. Standard issue cult. But then the head pastor is somebody who has like entertainment aspirations, which really
they all do.
That's why they're leading a cult,
right?
Because they like attention and they like ego and narcissism. But so he started recruiting TikTok famous people that are dancers on TikTok to join his management company called 7M. The church has a different name. It's like Shekinah or something, but he runs them both. And then once you start working with him as your manager, then you kind of get sucked in. And it's really sad because the main story that they told was this really beautiful girl who had a TikTok account with her sister, and they would do these really cute dances and stuff, and they got like 3 million followers. And then the one sister got recruited and left, and they can't talk to her.
Oh, no.
And they're like the perfect American family where it's like matching pajamas and stuff.
Yes, I can imagine. Yeah. And twins? No, sisters.
Yeah, they're sisters, but they're...
I made up twins in my head.
They dance together.
Just figured.
They look similar and they're very cute. And
not like you would make a difference. Who cares? Your sister's in a cult. That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
That's
awful. What I think is so interesting is how, like, when people are watching this, I see their reactions on Instagram and it's like, who joins a dance cult? And like, what the fuck? Like, why are they dancing and all that? But to me, it makes perfect sense. It's
totally
not. It's just like any other cult, and it's about control. And the fact that it has dance isn't weird at all. Do you know, like, religions dance and they have music and songs. This is natural.
This seems to, and it's really just like human trafficking in a way.
Yeah. Yes.
You are exploiting someone for your benefit.
A lot of action.
Yes. That's what this is. This is like a cult / human trafficking, which happens way more frequently than you think, which is fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just this girl. I mean, they showed men and they interviewed people who have left, and they're all very attractive and talented.
Yes.
And people, I think it's great that people are seeing, like, it's not just these weird, like, you know, hippity dippity, like Mormon,
Right.
weird hair, weird outfits.
It's people abusing power. At any time there's a power differential, you are going to have people who are exploiting their power in some way. And it is crazy to think that the TikTok influencer world would not include that as well. Because this is like a thing that's become really popular, are these TikTok houses, these like places that people go where I don't know, maybe a company
Content
or a brand
creators,
like a content creator think tank or whatever the fuck they want to call it, like their little labs. And
Hype house.
yes, exactly like that, where they just send and it's the promise of celebrity, the promise of fame, the promise of this many followers. If you are somebody who's we've made that so desirable as a society to have that sort of following and to have those numbers. So that has become so important that I would say that feels as life and death to maybe some teens and young adults as religious decision, like you're being saved or not. It's like my safety in this world we live in society is this can help me. And that can be preyed upon and taken advantage of. That desire to belong, to be part of something, to be connected to that, to have a following, to get attention. Ugh.
It's really interesting to see cults in the digital age.
Yes.
And because we saw the Mother God one.
Yep.
That was about that lady that started like a YouTube channel and then it became like an in-person cult. It sounds very similar to that, except this has more of like the traditional trappings of religion where they have like a church and he's up on the stage preaching and stuff like that. But he's recruiting them from social media. It's so sad to see these families try to figure out how they can get through to their loved one. I think that's the worst part is like thinking, if your family member is in the cult, like how could I send them a message that would actually penetrate like the brainwashing?
Yes. They have to be deprogrammed.
To tell them like,
That's
and I think it's often
wild.
like, you know how when addicts talk about their addiction, they'll say that they knew sometimes months or years beforehand that they were an addict, but like they didn't get the thing up to get help. Yeah. I feel like it's like that where oftentimes people in a cult.
Or like when you know you're going to get divorced, leave a relationship.
Yeah.
You don't decide that day.
Yeah.
Usually it's like 4 years before.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just think about it for a long time.
So I hope that the documentary gets something going to dismantle this. Because usually when we see cult documentaries, it's after the leader's in jail or dead or something. Now, this is ongoing.
What's shocking to me is despite all of these documentaries coming out talking about these cults or these different groups that appear to look like cults or have elements of cult-like behavior, there are still people participating and there's still people deep in these things. It feels like the newer cult documentaries are being made about cults that are still practicing and active, and that is wild to me. And the same with Lula Rich, how there are still people there. This documentary is out there. You can watch it, and you're still choosing to participate in not only the documentary that's talking about how terrible the show is, but also the brand itself, like as selling it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe that'll help, at least in the cult case, that it'll help prevent death or what we saw with Jonestown and stuff like that.
Oh, okay,
Heaven's
got it.
Gate.
I was like, who in this cult died?
Maybe, Yeah, like maybe this documentary is the thing that can prevent that horrible outcome.
Do you really see that, like a horrible outcome as being a possibility in this cult if things progress? Oh,
yeah, I do.
That's fucking
because
terrifying.
He has control.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because those people, the leaders, once they get their back against the wall, truly.
Oh, they all do that. Right.
Yeah. Because if he's going down, they all have to go down with him in their mind. You know what I mean?
All those one. Yep.
Yeah.
Even Mother God, kind of like all that.
It's not like they're like, okay, let's dismantle and disband. They don't do that. You either have to leave on your own or you're going to have a horrible fate eventually. That's just the way it is.
That's wild that cults only end up in one of those two outcomes.
Well, that's actually not true. But the way we use the term, I mean, Christianity was a cult in the very beginning. Yeah, it was a Jewish cult.
Still kind of going. We're still kind of, we haven't yet to see.
Well, I shouldn't say that because then this guy's going to be like, we could be that.
Oh, yeah. Don't do that.
You know?
Yeah.
Right. But the way we use the term now, you either have to leave or you're going down.
Wow.
Because I guess if they get arrested, but that's really hard to do because these are all consenting
and even when they get
stuff.
arrested, there's still people who follow. It's still like it often doesn't stop things. That's what I'm saying. It's like only
like that
further.
Mormon one.
Yeah. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Warren.
They keep
Warren.
Pray or whatever.
Warren
Jeffs.
Oh, God. He's one of the worst.
Anywho, it's good if you want to watch it. Okay. All right. This was sent to me by Brainiac.
Okay.
I think it's funny when they know what we'll get worked up about.
Oh, I love it. She's like adjusting her chair, moving back. Okay, tell me.
I'm in the posture.
Go.
Okay, so this is a story about a gal named Julia Hill, who in 1998, she became like obsessed with like environmental causes and stuff like that. And she became associated with this group that was doing like these staggered like sit-ins to save certain trees from loggers.
Is this the lady who lived in a tree for like 2 years?
Climb a tree. Yeah. Did we already talk about her?
No, we didn't. But I just saw the headline and I was dying to know more about this. So I vaguely remember her in like the news or popping up. But yeah, tell me.
Ugh. I had never heard of her, but okay, so she started doing these sit-ins where you agree to sit like in a tree or whatever for a certain period of time, and then someone tags you out and you swap out at whatever.
Oh,
and
okay,
there was
they tag you out. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that was how it was supposed to be. So it's supposed to be like you take turns.
Yeah.
And this was a sequoia in California. I don't know why, but they called it Luna, the tree.
Oh, all the trees in Sequoia have names.
Oh, they do?
Oh,
Who's
for sure.
naming them, though? These weirdos? Or
no,
okay.
Some of them, General Sherman, the tallest trees, like the largest tree, and like we have names for all of them.
Once you get to a certain level,
because
we give
like,
you a name.
And also if you've been around that fucking long, you deserve it.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Also, you don't get to
fine.
pick it, which kind of sucks. Okay, anyways, you're just given that name. What
Luna was
like
the tree, and they were protecting it from loggers.
Yeah.
Then on like New Year's Eve, there was some sort of mudslide that decimated the community, and like 8 homes were destroyed, and like a lot of the community was like 17 feet under mud and stuff. Yeah. And so like she just kind of like got assigned the job of being the tree sitter. And so she stayed, as you said, up on these platforms in this tree for 738 days.
Jeez. That's so
on her
long.
own. And she had like a sleeping bag that she like could stay warm in and like just put her mouth out.
That's really
to
cold.
breathe because it got cold. Yeah, it sure was.
I don't know how she survived.
And she was like using some sort of like propane stove, and that was about it. Oh, and she learned some tricks along the way. One such trick was that she wouldn't wash the soles of her feet because that sap was great for climbing.
Oh.
It helped you stick to the
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I would imagine it's kind of like nature's Band-Aid and kind of sealed it, like would kind of prevent you from maybe getting some scrapes, and it's like a salve, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I'm into that.
And
Nature-y. Cool.
Okay. So then eventually the Pacific
It's the
Logging
bathroom
Company
thing I'm worried about. We can't
That
just
is so
continue.
true. And why didn't they say how she handled that? Are you fucking
kidding me? That's the most important part. They should have started with that.
And it's sad that I didn't
Is
think
that
of
not
that.
the question we all have? Periods. Pooping. Peeing.
Periods.
I need to know
was she using
how all
leaves?
3 of these things were handled
Right.
in order for me to be like, I don't know.
You want to pick a side.
Yeah. I don't know why it matters, but it does. If she because you know what? It's the same thing I feel about the fucking woman in the hole or guy in the hole who is like, this is now a job for you, and you have to, I'm going to shit in this bucket, and you have to like dispose of my waste for fucking 2 years or whatever he was doing.
Okay, but the difference is that that
Right.
lady was just doing like an endurance feat, whereas this woman had like an actual cause.
And I do love
But-
that. And I'm all about saving the sequoias. We need more of this. Stay in the tree. I just have questions.
For real? I kind of don't love it because I just feel like when that community is under mud, I bet you they could have used a hand. Julia.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think, why are we putting trees ahead of human beings? I think it's
because
important.
Maybe if we don't put the trees first, then there'll be no more humans left.
Yeah, but you said trees.
Right.
And really, this is about Luna only. Like, if
But
we're honest.
it kind of feel in my mind, this is how I envision these protesters that like, and maybe I've just turned this into like a Hollywood story in my mind, but I envision all of these like tree chopping machines, like standing in a line, like revving their engines, ready to go. And she's in the tree that's at the very front of that line, like right in front of the patch that they're about to fucking demolish. And she's like, not this one, because that's the gateway to then deforestation or whatever, like taking out everything.
Maybe, yeah.
So that is what I have in my mind. If it's just like, you know, they're not really doing anything anywhere, and she's just like, no, this one I care about, then that feels a little pettier.
I think you're probably right. No.
You know, so it feels like we're saving one to save the many.
Yeah, and I mean, the outcome was that they negotiated, the logging company agreed to not chop down Luna, and also, I think, 2 mile radius.
Okay, this is good. We've got some trees saved. I like this.
And then let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, sorry. 200-foot buffer zone.
What?
Okay. So that
200
tree.
feet?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Not 2 miles.
I don't like that. That's not enough.
Okay, maybe it is just about Luna. Okay.
I don't like
And then in exchange, it was agreed that she would vacate the tree, and that the $50,000 she and other activists had raised during her occupancy would be given to the logging company. And the agreement also provided that the company would donate that same amount to a university for research on sustainable forestry.
Right? That
Right?
seems odd to me. This feels like a tax
what I
break
mean.
that people are getting. This is like a workaround, right? This
Yeah,
is
we're
like,
just exchanging
we're going to
money.
take that and then we're going to donate it so that we get an income, and then also that's a write-off
The
for
write-off,
us.
yeah.
Come on. It seems like
Yeah, and
her
then she
efforts
just
were for
became-
nothing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she just became like a motivational speaker, and wrote a book about it and
now-
stuff.
Okay. I wonder what she could have gotten accomplished with local legislator and working with, I don't know, zoning departments.
This is what I'm
and
saying.
The actual, if she put that time, that 2 years, into actually making change that could benefit
Systemic change.
Yes.
Instead of protecting one tree.
Right.
Yeah.
It would be, there's a word for it. I can't remember the name for it, but it's basically like giving somebody who's housing insecure $5 versus giving them a job, you know? For like one is a Band-Aid and one is actual, like they can do something and change and build a life and all that stuff.
I should have said also that she, although her name is Julia Hill, she goes by the name Butterfly.
Oh,
Okay. And also she is famous for being like anti-tax. So the money that she owes to the IRS, instead of paying her tax bill, she gives it to the causes she thinks are worthy. And she's like, I do pay my taxes. I just pay them to whomever I want.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sorry, ma'am, that you don't get to decide.
No, you don't.
Like, we all have that feeling.
Right.
I wish we bought fewer bombs, for example.
Right.
But I
Right.
feel like this is about Julia.
It
Julia
is,
likes
and
to do
it
what Julia
is.
likes to do.
Yeah, and Hill is an appropriate last name because it makes me think of like the hill you die on.
She
And
died on that hill.
She's
Yeah.
died on that hill.
Totally.
Yeah.
But she is like an icon of the movement. So, like, I don't know, maybe she inspired people. But for me, I'm like, I think Julia could use a therapist.
Yeah, and I think we need to be what's I can remember I used to talk to my brother about this because I used to do this too. But I would like spend more time driving around to the stores to go return the thing that I didn't need and waste more gas and money in doing so. Mm-hmm. Like I bought like a thing of nails that was like the wrong size. It was like $2. It took me like 2 hours to go to the bridge. I was like, why did I do that?
It's like there are different kinds of waste.
Yes, there are different kinds of
You can
waste.
waste money. You can waste time.
Yeah.
Waste
and
your
it
breath.
feels like maybe she needs to like evaluate how the
Yeah, is she doing the most effective thing?
cost. What is that word? The
Cost benefit?
yeah. The return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah. So there you go. Thanks to the Brainiac that sent me that, because you were right. I am worked up about it.
yeah.
Okay.
I go back and forth.
I read this article about how if you want to find meaningful work, then you might want to become a zookeeper, because they show like the greatest levels of a sense of meaning.
Shout out to Kara.
Shout out to Kara. Yep. So the article was talking about how zookeepers are often not that well paid and have to work
doing the
long
nicest
hours and
jobs.
weekends and things. Yeah, but that despite those things, they still have this real sense of purpose and everything.
Yeah.
And first of all, it made me want to ask you, like, if you don't feel exploited,
Oh.
are you?
Oh. What a good question. Okay.
I don't know the answer, though.
Because I did not feel exploited when I was on the challenge, but now looking back on it, I do.
Oh. So you think like they just they don't realize it. And so it's still wrong.
And maybe, but it might not be the same for everybody. So I'm reading this book called The Courage to Be Disliked. And it talks a lot. It's all based on like Adlerian psychology, and it's based on this like Japanese philosophy of how to like achieve your goals and kind of like recognize the source of your disappointment, things like that. And the book really talks about how so much of our perception of things comes from the story that we tell ourselves about it, and how we know that it's not really isn't like what happened to you, because if that were the case, then yes, of course that matters, but it's what happened to you and then the story that you tell yourself about it, because you can have people who went through the exact same thing and one of them is fine and one of them is not okay, and it's their perception of everything.
Totally. I mean, you see this in families where some of the kids feel like their childhood and their parents was all fine, and others are scarred and upset about it, and the circumstances were pretty much the same.
Yeah. Now I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about, though.
Just Zookeepers.
Oh, right. Oh, thank you. I'm like, why did I bring up that book? Okay, yes. So I think that... Okay, so to connect it, I think that what's happening is that the story that the zookeepers are telling themselves, the meaning that those actions or what they're experiencing has in that context, in that time, through their lens, may be different than the story they then tell themselves years later. I have a friend who used to work for SeaWorld. She was like, I'm like sick that I used to work there. I can't believe that I worked at a place that, and I didn't have a problem with, because it was so normalized with how they were like keeping these large mammals in captivity. And, you know, she's like, now I can't believe like what they were doing. And it did not seem like a problem. So, and also working with animals is so rewarding.
Yeah, and I have to suspend my own feelings about zoos because I'm really like thinking it just doesn't make sense. But all these zookeepers love animals. They care so deeply about preservation and helping the species and all that. So I think, listen, if they say it's fine, I'm going to have to take their word for it because they all seem really nice.
Right. And they do really care. And the people who are in those jobs, like, didn't, in the same way, I think, like, I'm like, the people in the not pharmaceutical companies, but like the researchers are not trying to kill you. It's like their job to like I know these, like the people who do this medical research, they're fucking nerds. All they care about is like, they're not trying to like infect the whole population or whatever. So I feel like it's the same of like like zoo people are not trying to harm animals or put animals in danger, or like they're trying to do what is best for those animals. So we need to listen to them, and we need to like, defer to them, because I have been following a lot of like animal sanctuaries. They just have been popping up in my feed on Instagram and stuff like that. And it's done a good job of teaching me about rehabilitation of a lot of these animals, and how a lot of them will just be brought in because they have been injured, or, you know, something happens and they really can't be in the wild. They can't, it's like, this animal is here or dead. Which would you like? I
was thinking about too with this article about how Susie's got a theory. I do feel like it tends to be like there are two types of like diehard animal lovers. There's like the ones like zookeepers who devote their lives or just their hobbies at least to like helping animals, caring for them. Like it's a selfless act. And then there's the other people that are like on hoarders and stuff, and they like it's more of a selfish act where like they just want more love and what's the third one?
Tiger King category. Those guys who care more about the power and being dominating over something, and this is your male animal handlers.
Ew.
Not all of them, but you know what I mean. That's what I thought you were. That's where I thought you were going to go. Is that direction of
but
like,
it's in the same category of like selfish.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
Self-serving.
Totally. Yeah.
Because
not Steve Irwin's son, because he's amazing.
Oh my gosh, what's that guy's name?
I can't remember.
It's like,
but he's so great.
Yeah, they seem like really nice families there.
Just the sweetest. And he's doing so much work for endometriosis and being
oh my
outspoken
gosh.
about that.
Well, that's nice.
Because Bindi had it, and and she had to have surgery, and I can remember when she came out of hospital and they told her how much, or anesthesia, and they told her like how extensive it was, and her brother was like, oh my God, you must have been in so much pain. It was so sweet. And I was like, what's the gal got to do? Can I get Bindy's family's response?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she has all her organs. Yeah. Real tough.
Yeah.
So,
oh my
what
God.
the fuck?
Right. Took a dark turn.
Yeah, sorry. Anyways.
Anyway, I just
make it about me.
This up about the zookeepers. In the article, it said that experts say that meaningful work requires individual dignity. It must be compensated justly, allow for a balance with outside commitments, and involve choice and the development of skills. And not many of us can say we get that from our jobs, but if you do, you are lucky, and I hope you appreciate it.
Teachers should be high on that list of being able to have all those things.
They should be.
But they don't. Not. I know. They should not have to have side hustles and like.
And often, like, the work of women is the one that's like, oh, it's your passion.
Even Zookeeper falls into like caring and like nurturing. Anything that's like that. They're like, don't pay them. Ugh, I hate that. Anyways.
Hate it, but I love all of you. I love our little community. We have so much fun with all our brainiacs. Thanks for all the links you send us because they really are great.
Love. And, you guys are the best.
Your support means so much. We'll see you next time, everybody. I didn't do a wind down, but just let it go. Okay.
Bye.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.